Welcome back. It's Front Office Sports at Radio Row, Super Bowl week. I'm Dan Roberts, and I've got the great MMA fighter, Daniel Cormier. Dan, what's up?
What's up, Daniel?
Two Daniels.
Daniel?
This is how we do it.
Yep.
That's how we do it. So you've been out the game a little bit.
Yes.
You're still in the orbit.
Yes.
Let's start with the business of the UFC.
Yep.
We at FOS have written a lot about the big Paramount deal. UFC going to Paramount. Been a lot of consolidation, TKO, and that whole empire. How do you think the health is of the business of UFC?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Right now, I don't think it's ever been better, right? You have TKO and the UFC and WWE, same umbrella. The Paramount deal is historic, right? You to have an ability to get the product in front of more people at less cost is as good as anything that the UFC could have done. I always say, you don't pay for the NFL, you don't pay for basketball. Now we're in line with the rest of the sports, right? I think it's going to really help the UFC.
Yeah, I always think when we talk about MMA and combat sports that people who aren't into it, maybe it's because you're never going to get them, right?
Yep,
and maybe they just look at that sport and they're like, not my thing. Can accessibility help with that? I mean,
Yes.
How do you bring net new fans into this sport?
So I think what happens is a lot of times you come across stuff. There are a lot of shows that I watch. I'm generally just kind of flipping through the channels, and I'm like, well, this looks interesting. I'll check it out. Does it always keep me? No, but sometimes it does. Now, when you talk about Paramount Plus in the UFC and everything else, right, how many more opportunities are people going to have to come across the UFC? Then, if we get 10 of them, say we keep 3, that's 3 more people that might not have watched it before. And I believe it'll be tens of thousands and thousands and thousands. And then eventually you start becoming new fans, because if you watch it, it's hard not to become a fan of the sport. It's awesome.
I know that's what a lot of fans say. You mentioned WWE and UFC being under the same umbrella with TKO, big business tie up there. What's the Venn diagram like, do you think, of fans of one or the other? You would think what a fan of one might like the other. Maybe that's not always true.
So I think the biggest way to prove that is Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was one of the biggest stars in the UFC's history because he brought that WWE fan with him. I think that there's a more direct connection today than there was before. There are a lot of guys now that we have seen come. CM Punk came to the UFC. I've been at the WWE now. I was a special guest referee. I've got a friend named Jacob Casper. He performs under the name Julius Creed. We want him to fight because he's a 2-time NCAA Wrestling All-American. There can be some crossover now, and I believe that that's partly because of the partnership.
When you talk about crossover, we've also had a lot of former wrestlers become Hollywood icons.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, there's 2 that come to mind right away with Cena and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yes.
Are we going to see that pipeline continue? It's almost like you get the acting chops.
Yeah.
And you can entertain the crowd, and then you bring it to TV and movies.
Well, I think that's gift those guys have. They have the ability to truly make a crowd move in whatever way they want them to. When they're on that microphone, a Roman Reigns is a guy that stands out that, hey, this guy could have a Hollywood career, because the way he captivates that audience is like something so special. And I believe with TKO and W, I mean, all the opportunities that they have in terms of movies, I think it's going to just keep growing. I think The Rock, there's always been guys that have done it. Hogan did it, right? Hogan did it. But when The Rock did it, he did it at a level that no one ever could have done or will match. And I believe that more guys will follow that.
Dana White announced some changes just in time for the debut of UFC on Paramount to fighter pay, bonuses.
I love that.
Bonuses being given to fighters who either lasted the longer, had the best fight, even if it wasn't the official fight of the night. Trying to make for more entertaining, long-lasting fights. Do you you think that's a good change? And then are we going to see some other changes that, because I know fighter pay has always kind of been a bone in that sport.
So I think what happens is this. What I love about what the UFC is doing now is this. Since I was fighting, post-fight bonuses were $50,000 for the fight of the night to the 2 guys, and then 2 performance of the night. Before it was submission, before it was knockout. Done. Those bonuses now still stay. They're $100,000 a piece now. So if you can double up, you can ultimately make $200,000 extra dollars on the night. But what is even better, because the base pay in the UFC is maybe 15 and 15, right? But if you finish a fight, if it's a submission, if it's don't matter, you get $25,000 extra.
Right.
So you can double your pay on that night. And I think that is going to lead to more exciting fights, but also lead to those fighters making more money.
Other thing I got to ask you about, the debut came, a lot of people said, a lot of ads. A lot of ads during this fight. And Dana White addressed it. He goes, look, they got to make their money too. Paramount's got to make their money. People said at some point, some of the ads ran during the walkouts that we usually like to see.
Yes.
You think not an issue, or we'll see that adjust?
So last week, if you watched again, the ads didn't run so much during the walkouts, right? So it's like
they're listening,
but it's growing, right? Everybody's trying to figure out how to make this relationship beneficial for everyone, right? So there are just going to be tweaks and turns at every step of building this relationship between the UFC and Paramount, and there's no one like Dana. Dana's always going to give the best experience to the fans, and that's why the fans are so passionate about the UFC, because the UFC does, and Dana White does, try to make sure that when you do tune in, you're getting the best experience you can have.
They're listening to fans. Daniel, what do you got going on in business?
Man,
outside
let me tell
the
you,
ring? What are you promoting here?
Ton of stuff, man. I am always doing stuff. Obviously, I have my own YouTube channel, and which is doing amazing at the volume. And then I also just started a new podcast. It's called Champion Mindset, and it's on the UFC's YouTube channel, and it's a Fanatics original.
Okay.
Tom Brady.
Fanatics getting into content.
Tom Brady was my first guest.
Pretty good.
It was amazing. So I have had an opportunity now on this Champion Mindset to sit with Tom Brady, to sit with Mark Messier, to sit with Charles Woodson. What do these three guys have in common? Champions. Only champions get to sit in that chair with you.
Success in business, I would say.
Success in business.
Outside
and then
the sport.
They've won championships.
Big time.
What is that? What is it? What mentality do you need as a champion to not only win in sport, but to also win in life? We discuss those things.
I like to end this way with big name athletes. Who do you look at and you say they did it right in terms of business, off the court, off the field, outside the ring? These guys knew how to continue with the personal brand and the investment.
Shaq. There's no one like Shaq. You look at Shaq's portfolio, man, it's crazy. Obviously, even like before Kobe passed, Body Armor, investing in that. Shaq, though, the General, Papa John's, there's no one like Shaq in terms of diversifying himself and making sure that he's got a long-lasting impact in business, and his family's going to be taken care of forever.
There you go. Big time stuff. Daniel, thanks so much. Listen to his podcast. Check him out on the volume. We'll be back with more from Radio Row all week.